Today's video is going to discuss Chapter 2.4, multiplying integers. So I want to start with a little table. It talks about when you're multiplying numbers together. If you multiply two numbers that have the same sign, your product will be positive. So a positive times a positive is a positive, or a negative times a negative is a positive. If you multiply two numbers that have different signs, your product will be negative. Positive times negative is a negative product. Negative times positive is also negative. So, let's practice two numbers that have the same sign. Negative 5 times negative 7 is essentially going to be 5 times 7, which is 35. And then I need to decide if this is positive or negative. And since this is negative and this is negative, this is going to be a negative times a negative, which should give me a positive answer. So my answer is positive 35. Negative 4 times negative 13. So 4 times 13 is 52. And same thing, negative times negative equals positive. So my answer is positive 52. Now, if you're taking two numbers that have different signs, like for example, this problem, negative 3 times 12, 3 times 12 is 36. And since this is negative times positive, my answer should be a negative number, so this is going to be negative 36. And then down here, 4 times negative 7, 4 times 7 is 28. And positive times negative gives me a negative answer, so this should be negative 28. Now I'm going to have you practice too. 7 times negative 8 and negative 9 times negative 11. Please pause the video at this time to practice these problems. So this first one is 7 times 8, which is 56. And then positive times negative is a negative, so my answer should be negative 56. Then over here I got 9 times 11, which is 99, and negative times negative equals positive. So my answer is 99. All right, let's take a look now at what happens when there are three numbers. So keep in mind you can only multiply two numbers at a time. Even if you type all three into your calculator and it comes up with an answer, it multiplied two numbers at a time. So you can pick any two numbers you want. The commutative property tells me I can move these around in any order. I'll just go in order from left to right, but you could multiply them differently. In fact, some people would find it easier to multiply these two together and then multiply to the negative 3. But if I were to take these two, 3 times 4 is 12. And since it's negative times negative, this is going to be a positive 12. So I got 12 here times negative 5. Now, 12 times 5 is 60. And since this is positive times negative are different signs, which means my answer is going to be negative. So my final answer should be negative 60. All right, one more way I want you to see this. Negative 7a times 4b. So the first thing I got to do is, remember this is really four numbers I'm multiplying together. Negative 7 times a times 4 times b. So I can break these apart if I want. I can move them around. The commutative property allows me to do that. So one way that people see this is I'm going to put the negative 7 times 4 times a times b. And now I can multiply these two together. And negative 7 times 4 is 28. But since it's negative times positive, this should be a negative 28. And then I have the a and the b. Right? Other people see it as multiply these two numbers together to get your negative 28, and then just put these behind it. Either way, my final answer should give me to negative 28. Now I'm going to have you try a problem that we haven't actually seen yet. And this is simply just very similar to the 3 integer problem, but this one obviously is involving some algebra. So 3xy if x equals 2 and y equals negative 6. I'll give you a hint in just a second. If you don't want the hint, pause the video now to practice the problem. if you want the hint, what we're going to do is substitute the 2 in here for x, the negative 6 in here for y, so my problem really is going to become 3 times 2 times negative 6. Right? So this is 3xy. If you were using the hint, please pause the video now to practice this problem. If you had paused the video earlier, or if you have practiced this, we should now get ourselves to 6 here. Positive times positive is positive. So I got 6 times negative 6. 6 times 6 is 36. And this is a positive times a negative, so this is a negative answer. So my answer is negative 36. That's all I got for you today. Thank you very much for watching the video, and I'll see you in class.